One of my subscribers has asked me to rebuild the Las Vegas Raiders. So with that being said, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys like and or subscribe. If we can get this video to 100 likes, I would appreciate that. But not going to be wasting any more time for you guys. We're getting straight into this rebuild for the Las Vegas Raiders. My opinion, I know some people are going to be like, oh, you're just a salty Ravens fan. I will admit, was a surpriser there, but Max Crosby was all over the Ravens. Really was a surprising game, but good job for the Raiders. But for their future, though, I don't know if they're going to win a playoff game, especially in the stacked AFC conference, easily the hardest conference of the two between the NFC and the AFC. If you don't believe me, simply use Google and look it up. But anyways, for the team, Gardner Minshew, Aiden O'Connell at quarterback. I don't think either of these guys are, of course, the future of the Raiders. The defense is what's really propping them up right now. I think everyone can agree on that. Of course, Davante Adams and Brock Bowers have been looking amazing. As always, for Davante Adams, Brock Bowers looking great so far. O-line has improved with Jackson Powers-Johnson, Andre James, and Colton Miller here. Need the right side to be fixed. Andrews Pete and Cody Whitehair are definitely not going to help prop it up. In this rebuild, though, I don't think Aiden O'Connell is the future of the Raiders, especially since a bridge QB benched him. So we are going to be looking in a different direction. And then Zamir White here, I like him in real life. I like what I've seen from him so far. But in Madden, he's 24 years old, normal development, and I really never see him develop in simulation. Defensively, though, baller defense you got here. Tyree Wilson is already given normal development after 1 year, which is kind of crazy to me. I thought he switched to defensive tackle in the offseason. I'm most likely going to be changing this to a 4-3 because they're just better in simulation, but for now, I'm just going to keep it a 3-4. You got Nate Hobbs, who seems promising. Jack Jones is pretty good other than the times whenever he's getting arrested. And then Trayvon Merrick, Max Crosby speaks for himself. Christian Wilkins, only an 87 overall, is a bit surprising. You got Tyree Wilson. I'm not really the biggest fan of him, but of course you don't want to give up on him. You spent the top 10 pick on a guy. I believe he only had 1.5 sacks last year. I don't know how he's doing so far. Not gonna lie, I haven't really kept up with him too much, but hopefully he can develop in the simulation. 6'6", 271, seems really good athlete for his size especially. Hopefully he can develop, especially since he only has normal development. But let's see what we got at the midseason mark. Here we are at the midseason mark as we are 3-4, as we are third in the division behind the Chargers and the Chiefs. For the scouting national focus, it is going to be quarterback, and quarterback is strength of the class. And now for the re-signings, Nate Hobbs, 25 years old, star development, absolutely, only $6 million a year, and he re-signs with the team. Trayvon Merrick, similar situation, basically the exact same, except he plays safety instead of defensive back at a TCU. Want to sign him to a contract, and he stays with the team as well. Robert Spillane, Alexander Madison, Divine Diablo, not really interested with the team anyways. All these other extras, I'm just not interested in. So for now, we have $61 million in cap room. Let's see how we perform and if or maybe not make it to the playoffs. Here we are in the playoffs as we missed the playoffs, go 5-12, bottom of the division. That's actually surprising considering the Raiders are, I believe, 2-0 or 1-1. I honestly don't remember, but either way, not really quite good for the start of year number 1. That was phrased very poorly, but either way, Gardner Minshew sucks. 30th best offense in the league, 22nd best defense, doesn't make any sense. 3,300 yards, 19 touchdowns to 9 receptions, 94 pass rating. In real life, this wouldn't be that bad, especially for being a bridge QB. It really isn't horrible, but of course, he's not going to be the franchise guy. Zamir White, less than 1,000 yards, 3.4 average, 9 touchdowns, a fumble, nothing impressive. Brock Bowers, though, in his rookie season with the most receptions on the team, 68, isn't really saying much, especially over Davante Adams. And then almost 900 yards, 4 touchdowns. Davante Adams, only 6 touchdowns, 800 yards. I mean, I understand he has Gardner Minshew at quarterback, but like, really? Not even 1,000 yards? Defensively, Divine Diablo with 122 tackles, Robert Spillane with 109 tackles for a loss, 20 for Max Crosby, 17 for Christian Wilkins, 12 for Jonah Lalu. I don't know who that is, if I'm being real. And then 10 for Divine Diablo. Where is... Am I bugging? Tyree Wilson only with 4 tackles for a loss, no sacks. Max Crosby with 10 sacks, then 3 for Divine Diablo, and then interceptions, 5 for Robert Spillane is surprising, and also 10 pass deflections as well is also surprising. 0 safeties and 0 defensive touchdowns. And the Eagles beat the Ravens in the Super Bowl. Saquon Barkley wins the Super Bowl MVP. Patrick Mahomes wins another league MVP, and there are no awards here for the Raiders. In the AFC West, John Jenkins retires with the Raiders, and Travis Kelce retires with the Chiefs. For the team upgrades, Brock Bowers, I believe he already comes with Superstar Dev. You love to see that. And then Jackson Powers-Johnson has Star Dev. Defensively, both of our middle linebackers get Star Development, but they both don't have an interest with the re-signing with the team, so we'll see how that goes. And for the re-signings, Robert Spillane, I understand he had a great season. He has Star Development. He has no interest with the team. I'm not going to pay someone who's 29 years old, pushing 30, a 3-year contract. I'll do 2 years, and then I'll increase his bonus. If he accepts, and he's not interested. So we're going to move on from him. Alexander Madison, Divine Diablo. These guys, like Divine Diablo, he's about to turn 28, and that's whenever regression starts. I'll do a 1-year contract. If he doesn't accept, which he doesn't, then I'll just move on as well. All these other extras, I'm just not interested in. After free agency, I got a bunch of 1-year players, Bobby Wagner being one of them, just as a temporary guy. I got Derek Forrest here as a new strong safety, Poona Ford as a 1-year player, and Devin Bush as a 1-year player as well. And here we are at pick number 4 here. I simulated straight to our pick. I didn't even look at the prospects, but not a QB was taken off yet, which is surprising considering quarterback is the strength of the class. We got a top 5 talent, a 3rd to 4th round, a top 5, and a 2nd to 3rd round talent here already. These guys already look really good. Yeah, this is a really stacked QB class, but I'm just going to look at the 2 top 5 prospects here. Norman Flannery here out of UCF, 6'2", 226 here. Physicals, good strength, elite change direction, very athletic. Only good at throw power as well, but very accurate. It seems F injury, good thing injury is turned off though. And then the other top 5 prospect, Austin Watford out of Maryland, 6'6", 226, same weight as the other guy, elite throw power, elite strength, not athletic at all. Doesn't look nearly as good. I mean, his accuracies are all A to B really, and B awareness. He doesn't really look good because of his athletic stats, which makes sense. I think I'm going to go with the other guy, though, just because athletically the other guy does look better, and they both seem to have B awareness. Yeah, Norman Flannery here he has A to B awareness. I mean, yeah, he looks just better accuracy-wise, too. Norman Flannery is going to be the first QB off the board to the Las Vegas Raiders, and he will be a B pick, and he will have hidden development, 90 throw power, 82 speed, 87 acceleration. Skills look great. Athleticism looks pretty solid. Norman Flannery will be the QB of the future for the Las Vegas Raiders. And then in the 3rd round, picking up a defensive tackle, Larry McLeod here out of Oregon, 6'3", 350, 94 strength, hidden development. He's a big boy, A play rec, B tackle, B block shedding. He's going to pair next to Christian Wilkins. And now I'm trading away my 4th round pick for the Bills next year's 3rd and 5th round pick. And now I'm trading away my 5th round pick for the Dolphins next year's 4th round pick. After the draft, our quarterback is a 76 overall. I got this right guard in the 2nd round. Normal development, 71 overall though. Then the rest of these 2 guys I didn't pick. And as always, picking up Andy Dalton just for the mentor tag. And I'm also going to be signing Elijah Mitchell just on a 1-year contract. So with that being said, Gardner Minshew, don't need him on the team anymore. Don't need his contract. I'm going to be trading him away for something cheap. Seems like the Giants desperately need a quarterback for a year because Daniel Jones sucks. So we're just going to trade him away to the Giants for like a next year's, not even a next year's 5th. That doesn't seem fair. Let's do a next year's 6th round pick for Gardner Minshew. And never mind, they don't have cap room. Oh, no, the Jets need a QB. Mac Jones definitely won't do, and they actually have cap room, so let's just do a 6th round pick for Gardner Minshew. That seems fair to me for a bridge quarterback. Minshew is out of here. And now for the rest of the team, Flannery is a 76 overall. We're going to have Andy Dalton at the 2 just to make some more XP for Flannery. And then we have Mitchell here. Elijah Mitchell will start over Zamir White. Everything else looks pretty good. Stewart here, and we're going to start him at the 1. Hopefully he develops more than Farham. And then defensively, moved into a 4-3 as I said before. McLeod here is going to start at the number 2 behind Christian Wilkins. Bobby Wagner is just here on a 1-year deal. The AI picked up that guy named Banks. Sure, we can have him. Everything else looks pretty good. Again, hopefully Tyree Wilson does develop. He is a starter off the edge. Elijah Mitchell is going to move up again. Trey Tucker, we're going to move in the slot. Then sure, Banks, we're going to have him in the slot as well. 83 overall team. Hopefully Flannery pans out. He has Brock Bowers, and he has Devontae Adams. At the midseason mark, we are 5-2, second in the division behind the 5-2 Kansas City Chiefs. And for the scouting national focus, I desperately need a running back other than, of course, Elijah Mitchell and Zamir White. For the players ready to negotiate, Jacoby Myers wants to be here. A 3-year deal is extensive for a guy who's about to turn 29. I'll do 2 years with Jacoby Myers. He re-signs on that. like that we can negotiate with that. Colton Miller will do a 4-year deal. He's the franchise left tackle despite his age. And then Jack Jones, I wouldn't mind back for another year. Sure, 2 years. Even if we do replace him, we'll have him as depth. Elijah Mitchell, not really interested in. Same thing with Zamir White. Devin Bush is just a 1-year player. And then all these other guys are just 1-year players, except for Andy Dalton. I would like him to stay as my mentor QB. I'm sure he'll just retire at the end of the season anyways. Everyone else here, AJ Cole, Daniel Carson, they're going to regress pretty hard, and Daniel Carson will regress below an 80 probably at the end of the season. I'll just get a new kicker and punter just because their age, and also I don't want to pay AJ Cole. I mean, $3 million really isn't that bad. If he accepts this, I'll keep him as my long-term punter and he resigns. But Daniel Carson, how will he regress at the end of the year? I don't know. I guess we'll just wait and see. Tyree Wilson, I'm not going to accept that option. All these other guys, I'm just going to wait till the end of the season. And we are 11-6 as we are second in the division, of course, behind the Chiefs, but we do have a 5 seed here. Stats and awards, Flannery, not that great, but he's just a rookie. Best offense in the NFL, 11th best defense is what carried us. 17 receptions is a lot, 89 pass rating. Nothing crazy here, but 4,100 yards for a rookie is pretty good. 25 touchdowns to 17 receptions isn't great, but we'll work on that. He got sacked 31 times as well. Elijah Mitchell, 1 fumble, 8 touchdowns, and really not better than Zamir White. Devontae Adams, there we go, 1,000-yard season, only 5 touchdowns though. Trey Tucker in the slot, 7 touchdowns, 1,000 yards. Jacoby Myers, solid season. Brock Bowers with 7 touchdowns, 800 yards. Bobby Wagner with 103 tackles, 4 tackles for a loss, 2 sacks, 4 interceptions. That's really good for a 35-year-old linebacker. I mean, I might just sign him for another season just because of that. Tackles for a loss, 21 for Max Crosby, 12 for Christian Wilkins. Who's Dwayne Redmond? He outperformed Tyree Wilson. I mean, he had 4.5 sacks, but this isn't top 10 status, dude. He's starting. He's not putting up anything. I might just need to get a replacement for him. And then sacks, 14 for Max Crosby, 9.5 for Christian Wilkins. Like, 4.5 sacks, like, sure, it's not the worst thing in the world, but for like a top 10 pick, this is atrocious for his first 3 seasons. And then interceptions, 4 for Wagner, 3 for Forrest, and then 3 for Hobbs. Safeties on the team is 2 for Max Crosby. Defensive touchdowns is 0. Can we beat the Cleveland Browns with our new rookie QB in round 1 here? And we do, giving the Raiders their first ever playoff win since 2002. That is crazy. I was born in 2003. But Jacksonville Jaguars, can we beat them? We're at home. Can we go to the conference championship for the Raiders? And we do. Here to face the 14-3 Buffalo Bills to potentially go to the Super Bowl with our new rookie quarterback. Can we beat the Buffalo Bills? They already start off hot, 7-0 for them. At the end of the first quarter, we score nothing, finally putting 7 on the board. Our defense is holding strong, but again, our offense is the problem. It seems to be just like in real life with the Raiders. I mean, either way, but 21-7 against the Bills, 14-21. Defense doing great. Offense needs to step it up a little bit. That will seal the deal, and the Bills will be moving on to another Super Bowl. Hopefully, they can actually win one this time, but we will be moving to the offseason. And Josh Allen dominates in the Super Bowl, winning the Super Bowl MVP and the league MVP, bringing the Bills their first ever Super Bowl win. Sean McDermott wins Coach of the Year, and really no Rookie of the Year for the Raiders. Unfortunate. In the AFC West, Andy Dalton retires after I give him a contract, and after Bobby Wagner had a great season, he retires as well. Then all these other extras retire. And for the team upgrades, Flannery has Superstar Dev, and it looks like he comes with that. He did not earn that. You love to see it. And for the rest of the team upgrades, Brock Bowers goes to Superstar X Factor. You love to see that. Trey Tucker stays at normal development after a 1,000-yard season. Anything else? Devin Bush goes to Star Dev. McLeod here has Star Dev. Banks has Star Dev as well. Everything else looks the same. I think I'm going to move on from Tyree Wilson. I mean, if I can find a replacement for him. And for the re-signings, Elijah Mitchell, no. Tyree Wilson, not going to accept the option. Zamir White can walk. Devin Bush, I wouldn't mind back for another 1-year contract for him, and he does not want to re-sign on that. Everyone else here, I'm just not interested in. Daniel Carson, he's an 80 overall still, but I'll just get a new kicker. After free agency, I got Brandon Aubrey as a new kicker. Sure, he's 31 instead of 30, but he's an 86 overall. We got Martin Emerson Jr. at defensive back. We got Dameon Pierce as a long-term running back. Quincy Williams on a 2-year deal. Then we got Ivan Pace Jr. as a middle linebacker. In the first round, picking up wide receiver Landon Lastly, A+ pick, ranked number 8, picked him at number 30, normal development. Thank you, EA, for adding that feature. Wow, A+ pick, normal development. Why would you even consider having that? A catching, A spec catch. He's going to be the wide receiver 3, a 6'3" slot. And then in the second round, getting a new right guard that actually has a development, hidden development, 300 pounds, 6'4" out of Oregon, 86 strength, 78 acceleration, Luke Casey, A's and F's across the board. I don't care. He has hidden development. And then in the third round, picking up Kerry Archer here out of Ohio State, 6 foot, 230, hidden development. I'm going to move him to left outside linebacker. Not really that good, but his athleticism looked nice. And with my other third round pick that I got from Bills, hidden development defensive tackle Zach Hightower, 6'3", 301, not very athletic at all, but 94 strength, 84 acceleration, B tackle, B impact blocking. For the draft recap, Landon Lastly, even though he has normal development, 77 overall, Luke Casey, 74, 63 for Kerry Archer, I guess he's not going to be a starter, 70 overall for Zach Hightower, got this guy in the later rounds, then past that, didn't draft any of these other guys. And now I'm going to be signing Jacoby Brissett as a new mentor QB. Now this is the team after the draft. Casey's immediately going to be the starter just because of his development. Everything else looks good. Lastly here, Landon Lastly is already above Trey Tucker, and he just got to the league, but that's sick. And Michael Mayer, I hate to do this. I like Michael Mayer. I can't use him in any way. Second string tight ends don't do anything. Yes, I can put him in the slot. I already drafted a new wide receiver. I'm going to go trade away Michael Mayer for like a second round pick. And now I'm trading away Michael Mayer and a 5th round pick for the Panthers' 2nd round pick. So now this is the team after the update and everything. 86 overall, like what we got going on offense. Archer, you know what? Why not just make him the starter for this season? Hightower's going to play his depth. Unfortunately for you, Tyree Wilson, well, fortunately for you, I didn't find your replacement just yet, but I guess he's just going to stay the starter for now. Specialist-wise, anyone else that I want to change? No, I do not want Devontae Adams in my slot. Why would you ever think that? And then everything else here looks pretty good to me. Banks, sure. Pace, I'll rather have Ivan Pace as the sub linebacker. Once again, everything looks good. 3rd year in the league with the Raiders. We only have 4, maybe 5 years. Let's move into the midseason mark. 3-3 at the midseason mark. We are 2nd in the division, currently holding a 7th seed for the playoffs. Scouting national focus. I think I'm just going to do linebacker here. And for the players ready to negotiate, Max Crosby, absolutely. You're coming back. 5-year deal for him. I don't care if he's pushing 30. Devontae Adams. He is regressing, but I do want him for the rest of the reboot if I can have him. He resigns on that. Andre James, I do want him back as well. 3-year deal, $9 million a year. He resigns on that. Trey Tucker, not interested in. Tyree Wilson, how much do you want? Absolutely not. I'm not paying you $12 million a year. You've only given me 4.5 sacks through 3 seasons. I mean, that's your best. I mean, either way, Aiden O'Connell, don't want him. All these other extras, not interested in. Brock Bowers, I'll accept his option later. And we go 8-9. Missed the playoffs, 3rd in the division, EA Sports. Stats and awards, Norman Flannery, better than last season, 10th best offense in the NFL. How do we magically have a terrible defense? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Flannery, 15 receptions, still unacceptable. Pass rating, touchdowns has improved, yards slightly underneath from last season. Dameon Pierce, 17 touchdowns, is really nice. 4.0 per carry, almost 1,000 yards, 1 fumble. A lot better at the running back position. Devontae Adams, 10 touchdowns, 1,000 yards. Landon Lastly, the rookie with over 1,000 yards, 7 touchdowns. Jacoby Myers, almost 800 yards, 4 touchdowns. Brock Bowers, 5 touchdowns, 700 yards. Defensively, Ivan Pace with 109 tackles for a loss, 10 for Max Crosby, 9 for Christian Wilkins, 5 for Larry McLeod here. Tyree Wilson, 9.5 sacks. That's actually a lot better. I dissed on him too much, I guess, but still 4 tackles for a loss. I mean, I guess I can't really replace him now because this is showing a lot of improvement. He better get star development, but 21 sacks for Max Crosby, amazing from him, but it's to be expected at this point. 3 interceptions from Banks, and then safeties on the team, 0 defensive touchdowns is 0. And the Ravens beat the Vikings in the Super Bowl. Lamar Jackson wins the Super Bowl MVP. Patrick Mahomes wins the league MVP. Landon Lastly wins the Rookie of the Year for the Raiders. In the AFC West, Darius Slay, Derek Carr, and David Bakhtiari all retire on the Broncos, which is weird. For the team upgrades, Lastly does go to star development. Any other upgrades on the team? Casey's a star development, no surprise there. I'm going to move Store outside here to the right tackle so that way we can just have a higher overall at that position. Defensively, any other upgrades? Archer comes with star development. Hightower comes with star development as well. Any other actual upgrades? Surprisingly, Ivan Pace and Tyree Wilson both don't get star development, but it sucks, but it is what it is. For the re-signings, Brock Bowers, I'll accept the option. Tyree Wilson, he doesn't want to be here, and this is really the best I'm going to do for his contract. I'll increase his signing bonus a little bit more, and he re-signs on a 3-year contract. Trey Tucker, all these other extras I'm just not interested in. Okay, I know I just signed Tyree Wilson. I don't care. Aiden Hutchinson is here, $40 million a year. I don't care. He's coming to the Raiders, whether you like it or not. After free agency, I got Aiden Hutchinson, Ronnie Stanley, and Terrell Dodson. So making a trade, didn't like anything on the board, especially for the position of need. Superstar X Factor, 25-year-old Drew Sanders from the Broncos for pick number 13 in the draft. And then in the second round, getting more depth at linebacker, Brandon Lowell out of Iowa. Pass coverage, 5'11", hidden development, 87 speed, 88 acceleration. A's, 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 then F's for his pass coverage. Well, not his pass coverage, but his finesse moves and his power rushing moves, because, of course, he is a pass coverage linebacker. And then with my other second round pick, Terrell Derby here out of Kansas State, 6'1", 207, hidden development, just more depth that I need. Don't really need anything else other than my team to actually perform. And after the draft, 74 overall for the left outside linebacker, 75 for the safety. Then the AI picked up the rest of these guys. And finally, I'm picking up Matthew Stafford for the mentor tag. 3 different mentors in 3 different years for our quarterback. Now, this is the team moving into the 4th and final year. 88 overall team. Looks great. Devontae Adams did regress quite a bit, but either way, superstar quarterback, 87 overall. Aiden Hutchinson, Max Crosby is a nasty duo with Drew Sanders here as well. Derby, all these other guys looking really good. A lot of depth on this team. Really shouldn't be any excuse for us to miss the playoffs, but let's see if we can make them and just skip out on the midseason mark. Here we are in the playoffs as we are 11-6 here, 90 overall team, second in the division to the 12-5 Chiefs, coming off a loss to them in week 18 to clinch the division. Stats and awards, Flannery, much better, slowly improving. 17th best offense though, 16th best defense makes no sense. We're stacked out to the brim. 4,100 yards, 38 touchdowns, 10 receptions, 112 pass rating. Slowly improving, but looking a lot better now. Dameon Pierce, 10 touchdowns, 2 fumbles, 4.1 average, almost 1,000 yards, but only 233 attempts. Jacoby Myers, 12 touchdowns, 1,200 yards, outperforming Devontae Adams, Brock Bowers, literally everyone on the team. I don't even know why I have to explain it. Defensively, Drew Sanders with 110 tackles, 4 tackles for a loss, a sack, 4 interceptions. Great season from him. Tackles for a loss, 15 for Max Crosby, 11 for Christian Wilkins, 10 for Aiden Hutchinson. Sacks, 15.5 for Max Crosby, 12 for Aiden Hutchinson, 8.5 for Christian Wilkins. Interceptions, 5 for Nate Hobbs, 4 for Drew Sanders. Safeties on the team is 0 defensive touchdowns, is 1 for Drew Sanders. Can we beat the Jacksonville Jaguars to move on to the divisional round? Is it possible here? And it is. Here to face the 11-6 Buffalo Bills, who eliminated us last time. We're better than them in every way, offense, defense, overall, of course. Let's see if we can beat the Bills at their home to go back to the conference championship. Here we are against the Bills as a 0-0 start for both teams. Finally, we score first, 10-0. We have 2-score lead over the Bills in the second quarter. Back and forth, just back and forth punt, 17-0 at halftime. And we start out the half with a huge run from Dameon Pierce, 24-6 against the Bills. Seems like a domination so far. Defense was holding up very, very well throughout the entirety of this game, letting up a little bit there at the end. Either way, we get the job done, 27-20, as we are going to be moving on back to the conference championship. And we are going to be facing the 10-7 New York Jets. Who is their quarterback? Their quarterback is going to be Jamie Logan. Imagine if it was Gardner Minshew. Jamie Logan, normal development, 86 overall, 82 overall. Without the boost, there's no way we lose to this guy, right? Here we are against the Jamie Logan New York Jets. They're going to start out with 7, and we're going to respond with nothing. Still 7-0 game. Offense needs to wake up, finally putting 7 on the board in the second quarter, 14-7 at halftime. We open up half with a 7. They're going to respond with nothing, and then finally we take our first lead of the game, but they're going to tie it right back up in our face, and then it's going to be 20-17 key moments, end game drive. I'm going to take over and see if I can seal the deal for us. 3rd down and 10. Let's see what we're going to have. Circle's going to be open here. Get it to the end. There you go, Lacey. Up the field. Go, go, go. Touchdown, Lacey. Let's go on 3rd and 10. No way they come back from this, right? 11 seconds left. That's right, 27-20 against the Jets, as we're going to be moving on to the Super Bowl. And here we are in the Super Bowl, here to face the New Orleans Saints. Who is their new quarterback? Their new quarterback is Kenny Pickett. You have to be crazy, dude. Glazing Kenny Pickett this hard is crazy. For the team upgrades offensively, Jacoby Myers gets superstar development. That's interesting. Flannery stays at superstar dev. That's fine. We're a 90 overall team. Any other upgrades for the team? Lowell here has star development. We don't see Derby's upgrade yet, but still, great team. Let's just move into the Super Bowl against the Saints. Here we are versus the Saints, 0-0 start, finally scoring here 7-0 against the Saints, 14-0. Great start for us, 14-7, 21-7. We also get ball at half, as always here, 21-7. Opening up half, we didn't really do much there, but still 28-7. Defense continues to hold strong, and offense continues to pour it on. Kenny Pickett is an absolute joke. 35-14 as your Las Vegas Raiders win their first Super Bowl since what, like the 80s? It's been a very long time, especially for Raiders fans. But finally, you get to bask in the glory of finally winning a Super Bowl within a lot of your fan base's lifetime. And despite only having 1 touchdown during the Super Bowl out of our 35 points, Norman Flannery wins the Super Bowl MVP. Patrick Mahomes wins another league MVP along with Rashee Rice as the Offensive Player of the Year. No other awards for the Las Vegas Raiders. But anyways, guys, I thank you guys all for watching. Obviously, as you can tell, this is a successful rebuild. Let me know down in the comments below which team you want me to rebuild next, and I'll see you guys all in the next one.